Peter King with NBC Sports here, and this is my 40 for 40 for 2001. Now, as many of you are going to recall, 2001 is when 9/11 happened. I was living in Montclair, New Jersey at the time, which is about 15 miles as the crow flies from Ground Zero, where the Twin Towers went down. So that obviously was a very emotional time in New York. And there's three things that really struck me. Number one, Sports Illustrated, where I worked at the time, asked for volunteers to go down and work at the center where they were collecting a lot of things to try to help with the rescue and recovery and obviously cleanup at Ground Zero. So they had these 4-hour shifts at night in the New York Waterways Ferry Terminal in New York City. And so I signed up for a couple of those and I went in, and it was so incredibly emotional. People driving literally from all over the country and opening up their cars and dropping off 5 boxes of boots for the workers at Ground Zero, gloves. And there was a woman from Miami who drove up. She said, "I didn't know what else to do. I wanted to bring a cake. Please give this to people who are working at Ground Zero." It was just a tremendously emotional time. Number two, my wife and I took 16 people in from Montclair to have dinner 10 nights after the towers went down. And we did that because the mayor of New York, Rudolph Giuliani, said, "Hey, listen, New York is open. The restaurants need you. We need to have people come back to the city. There's no danger here. Come back in." So we did. We went in, we had a meal, a great meal at Carmine's in the Times Square area, big, loud Italian restaurant, table for 16. And right next to us, there was an empty table, big table. And we see coming in these dirty, very unkempt guys with uniforms on. As they get closer, we realize everybody in the restaurant is standing and giving them an ovation. Buffalo firefighters, table of about 10 of them. And my daughter, Mary Beth, went over to them and said at that moment, "Man, thank you for doing this." We were all very emotional about what had happened. And one of the firefighters came over to our table. We bought him a drink. One of the firefighters came over and said, basically, "We're all taking a week of our vacation to come here and work." So not only are they not getting paid for this, they're giving up vacation time. And I just said, man, what a country. This is fantastic. Last thing I will say is that I covered a game in the first weekend that the NFL started playing again. New York Giants at Kansas City. And it was a tremendously emotional time, obviously. America was one. Everybody was all for one, one for all. And on the plane on the way down, Jean Strahan, at the time Michael Strahan's wife, was on the plane. And when we got to the hotel, I found out that I was staying in the same hotel as Jean Strahan. And we knew each other, and she came up to me and she said, "Peter, do you have a rental car?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Can I borrow it?" I said, "Of course." And I gave her the keys. And she came back and she gave me the keys, a couple hours later. And she gave me the keys and I said, "What'd you do?" And she goes, I wanted to go out and buy a tie for Michael, a red, white, and blue tie for tomorrow." And it just, I don't know, I get goosebumpy thinking about all those things. It was just an absolutely terrible time to be an American and a marvelous time to be an American. And sometimes when I think back on those days, I get so incredibly sad. But I also am so incredibly encouraged at the way everyone responded to do nice things for other people in the wake of one of the biggest tragedies in American history. That is my 40 for 40 for 2001.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.